Given f of x is negative 5x plus 3 and g of x is x squared plus 1, let's perform the following operations. So this is f plus g of x. In some cases, some people call this f of x plus g of x. They're really interchangeable. They mean the same thing ultimately. And so let's go ahead and let's do this. If f of x is 5x plus 3 in blue, and g of x is x squared plus 1 in purple, when I do f plus g of x, really we're just going to do what it says. Do f plus g of x. So f of x is negative 5x plus 3. And g of x, after we add it, is x squared plus 1. So now we just have to do our algebra. So if I write this in standard form, I'm going to start with the highest degree term first. So that's going to be x squared. So I'm going to have x squared plus, I have negative 5x as the next highest degree term. And then I have plus 3 and plus 1. So now when I simplify all that down, combine all like terms, I get x squared minus 5x plus 4. Now down here we have g minus f of x. So if I go ahead and write out my notation, sometimes people get stuck here because they just are so used to doing f first and then g second. So they'll accidentally do f minus g of x. But just make sure you are aware the g comes first here. So we are going to write the g function first. So x squared plus 1. And then I'm subtracting f here. I'm subtracting f. So I'm going to subtract and keep the parentheses, make sure you do, because it's subtract negative 5x plus 3. Sometimes over here, people will just put subtract negative 5x plus 3, and then they'll say, oh, negative times negative is positive, so it's just 5x plus 3. When in reality, if I put it in parentheses, I need to subtract this whole thing, which means I need to distribute this negative symbol to both terms in order to simplify it. So once I simplify it one step, I get x squared plus 1 plus 5x minus 3. And after I simplify it down and combine all my like terms, I get x squared plus 5x minus 2 as my answer. All right, and then possibly the most difficult one, even though it's not that complicated, is f times g of x. And because the commutative property, which means I can multiply two numbers together no matter which order, and they'll always get me the same thing, it doesn't really matter which one I multiply first, so I'll just keep it the same way the problem has it written. And so now let's multiply f, which is negative 5x plus 3, by g, which is x squared plus 1. And so if you want to go ahead and FOIL that, I have a video on foiling if you need a refresher, but this is just going to be negative 5x cubed plus 3x squared minus 5x plus 3. And that's my final answer.